Welcome to the Lectric Service Center. Today, we'll be going through the troubleshooting process of an XP 3.0 that won't turn on. If this is your first time riding your XP 3.0, please refer to the 3.0 first ride video. If your XP 3.0 is still not running after you've completed the steps in the first ride video, continue watching this video as we will do a few checks and tests to troubleshoot what the problem may be. The three main components that contribute to the power of the XP 3.0 are the display, the battery, and the controller. If any one of these components is having an issue, your bike might fail to turn on. If you have two bikes that are both the same model, there are two tests that you can do to try to pinpoint the issue. A note: in order to perform this test, the bikes have to be the exact same model. For example, an XP Step Through 3.0 will not be compatible with an XP 3.0. If you do not have two bikes, you can skip forward in this video. If you do have two bikes, continue watching. First, remove the battery from the working bike and insert it into the bike that won't turn on. If the bike turns on, then the problem is your battery. If the bike does not turn on, you will need to rule this out and continue the troubleshooting process. The second test you can perform if you have two bikes is checking if the display is the issue. Follow the cable from the back of the display until you reach the quick plug. Disconnect the quick plug on the working bike, then disconnect the plug on the bike that doesn't turn on. Then, plug the quick plug from the bike that won't turn on into the other bike. If the display turns on, you might need to replace the display on the bike that doesn't turn on. If the display does not turn on, you will need to rule this out and continue the troubleshooting process. If you only have one bike, or your bikes are different models, you will need to perform some tests in order to pinpoint the issues with your bike. Let's begin by checking the display cable quick plug to make sure there is no damage. Follow the cable from the back of the display until you reach the quick plug. You may need to unravel the cable wrap to access it. Pull the quick plugs straight apart, but be sure not to twist them apart. Inspect the inside of the connection and make sure none of the 5 pins are bent or missing. Plug in the quick plug and check the power of the bike. If the bike does not turn on, you will need to rule this out and continue the troubleshooting process. For the next check, we will be taking a look at the components inside the bike. You'll need a Phillips head screwdriver. For this, you will need to open up the bike to access the battery terminal and the controller plate. Make sure that all 5 battery pins are present and there's no bending and none of the pins are jammed in or there's no other signs of damage. Then, check the battery terminal and make sure there is no damage. Next, use a Phillips head screwdriver to unscrew the 5 perimeter screws holding the controller plate into place. If you have an XP 3.0, there will be 4 perimeter screws, but everything else will be the same. Make sure not to unscrew the 2 screws directly above and below the battery pins. Pull the plate off and check the yellow XT60 connector for any damage to the 2 pins. Next, carefully pull out the controller, exposing the cables connected in the back. Check that the integrated harness quick plug is fully and firmly plugged in. Now, gently place the controller back into the frame of the bike. You can replace the controller plate and screw in the 4 perimeter screws. The final test you can perform will require you to use a multimeter. A multimeter will give you the power output of your battery. However, if you do not have access to a multimeter, you can take your battery to your local battery supply store or auto parts store and have your battery tested. If you are using a multimeter, place the negative prong in the bottom terminal and the positive prong in the top terminal. Now, make sure the battery output reads between 42 and 54 volts. Repeat this process for each terminal on the battery. If your battery reads lower than 42 volts, you might need to replace your battery. If you have pinpointed the issue with your bike, please contact our customer support team with the issue you encountered. If you have completed the troubleshooting process and your bike is still not turning on, please contact our customer support for further assistance. If you have any questions about this process, please feel free to reach out to our customer support team at contact@lectricebikes.com or give us a call at 602-715-0907. Thanks for watching.